Skip it up and that up. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Rich of Review Tech USA, and the creepiest Father of the Year award goes to this guy. IGN has a really great article called Wii U: The Launch Potential, and they talk about what Nintendo's system could launch with all the third-party support backing the system, and what it needs to launch with to make the Wii U, the next-gen console from Nintendo, successful. And I want to reiterate it and discuss it and go over it because I think it's really well done. The first thing the article talks about is how Nintendo has to launch with kick-ass first-party titles out of the gate. And this I totally agree with. If you look back at Nintendo's history, whenever they launched a system with an exclusive title, mostly Mario games, they all did very well. The only system that was an exception to that rule was the Wii. It didn't launch with a Mario game, and it still flew off the shelves. I remember I was in high school and the Nintendo 64 just dropped with Super Mario 64. Yes, the system ended up being in second place that generation, way behind the original PlayStation, but you couldn't find a Nintendo 64 anywhere when that system first launched, and that was due to Super Mario 64. People love Nintendo's first-party titles, and for a system to be successful, generally, it should launch with at least one of their first-party titles. It's almost a requirement, and especially this generation where people are going to need to be really wowed by the Wii U. Come on, Nintendo, you better be launching the Wii U with exclusive Nintendo software. The system needs it to be successful. It's a requirement. Now, this part always cracks me up, and I talked about this before, but the article goes on to say that Satoru Iwata, Nintendo's global president, went on to say that the 3DS's bad launch made them learn a lot of valuable lessons. But to me, it's like, okay, great, you learned from the 3DS that you should have launched with great games, but why did it take up to the 3DS? There's so many other systems that failed because they didn't launch with good games or had a slow start because they didn't launch with good games. Why did it take the 3DS, for how many years Nintendo has been around, to learn that, oh yeah, having really good games makes people want to buy the system? It's common sense. You shouldn't need a system to hurt in the beginning or sell poorly in the beginning to realize it. Software sells systems. People buy software. The hardware, yeah, people like hardware, but if the games suck for it, it doesn't matter how great the system is. So, great, they learned from it. It's better late than never, but I'm shocked it took the 3DS for them to say, oh yeah, we should launch systems with good games. Like, no kidding. The article also goes on to talk about how Ubisoft is a big proponent of the Wii U. They're going to support it big time. They're developing a bunch of games for it, including Killer Freaks, which is going to be a launch game for the system. Other games that look like likely candidates to be launch titles are the Ghost Recon game they're coming out with, the next Assassin's Creed. If those games come out with the system, if they have kick-ass first-party titles from Nintendo and awesome third-party titles from Ubisoft and other companies such as Ghost Recon and Assassin's Creed, the system is going to do extremely well, and I hope that Ubisoft holds to their promise and comes out with Killer Freaks and throws in Ghost Recon to boot. Those would be two great third-party games for the Wii U. Now let's talk about the Capcom factor. Capcom and Nintendo have been very friendly in recent years, unlike they were back in the Nintendo 64 days, if you guys remember that. And it would be amazing. Resident Evil 6 is coming later this year, if they made Resident Evil 6 available for the Wii U at launch. I've talked about this before, and I'll reiterate it again. Nintendo needs to make this system appeal to every audience out of the gate. They can't come out with a bunch of childish games and then say, oh, don't worry about it, we have games for the hardcore gamer coming, so if you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s and you like Resident Evil and Call of Duty and all that, don't worry about it. Even though there's only Pikmin 3 and Mario available now, those games are coming, so buy the system and we promise we'll bring the games later. They do that, they're going to be in deep trouble. If they have games like Resident Evil 6, Ghost Recon, Assassin's Creed, so on and so forth, that's going to appeal to people my age. And if people my age want to buy the system along with the younger crowd and even the older crowd, you're going to have all of the hardcore and casual gamers going to the Wii U at once at launch, and that will be huge for Nintendo. Other games that are rumored to be coming to the Wii U close to its launch or at launch is the next iteration of Call of Duty, Battlefield, Madden, BioShock Infinite, Assassin's Creed 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, these all could be potential titles for the Wii U at launch or close to its launch, like a month or two out. And if these games actually hit the Wii U when it launches or close to its launch, the Wii U is going to come out of the gate and sell incredibly well, and Nintendo really needs that right now. So what do you think about the Wii U launching this year? Do you think it has the potential to launch with a bunch of kick-ass games, or do you think Nintendo's going to screw up like they have done in the past and make the Wii U come out of the gate with an anemic library of software? Make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and as always, thank you for supporting Review Tech USA.